Hello and welcome back to Futuretoons, where we explore the intersection of retrofuturism and animation by looking at past depictions of the future seen in cartoons. Christmas is pretty much upon us. In the past, we have seen many instances of Christmas traditions appearing in the future. Last year, we actually had a whole video on Christmas in the future, alien Santas and rocket sleighs galore. This year, we're going to be spending the holidays with the Jetsons. Before we get into that though, this and every video on this channel was made possible by our patrons over at patreon.com/pixandportraits. We do not run ads, we are 100% viewer supported, and in exchange offer a ton of exclusive videos, as well as series like Feature Film, similar to this but with movies. We just covered 12 Monkeys for the holidays. We've done another festive Gillian Future in Brazil as well. $5 a month gets you access to these and dozens of other videos. So if you like what we do and want to help make it happen, please consider supporting us. Patreon.com/pixandportraits. With that plug out of the way, let's head back to the future. This is based on age, but I feel like when most people think about the future and cartoons, they immediately think of the Jetsons. It has been rebooted or syndicated on TV since it first debuted in the early 60s. We've talked about them before on here, how they were used to sell products, the future. We gave a brief overview of the franchise in that video as well, so check that out if you want a little more context on the show itself. Now, there are far too many episodes to cover every example of futuristic tech or innovation from the show, but for those who may not be familiar, it was classic space-age futurism. Life was comfortable, convenient, anything you could ever want was just the push of a button away. Flying cars that traveled skyways, absurd devices that accomplished very simple tasks. These obviously were not meant to be treated as serious predictions of what was to come, but some came pretty close to what we eventually got, and they definitely embody the optimistic spirit of the times. In 1985, the Jetsons did what many cartoons do for Christmas. They produced their own version of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. One of the oldest animated Christmas specials did it, Mr. Magoo. So did Mickey Mouse, which I think is the best adaptation, animated or not. The Flintstones, Looney Tunes, and many others, because the story's great, and it's in the public domain. I'd wager most of you are probably aware of the plot, but if not, on Christmas Eve, old miser Ebenezer Scrooge is visited by three ghosts who show him the results of his actions, past, present, and future. It's not good. He's not good. And by Christmas morning, Scrooge has seen enough, and he awakes a changed man. Probably my second favorite Christmas story behind the similar It's a Wonderful Life, which I find more relatable. Make of that what you will. I love A Christmas Carol's use of time travel, the way it explores character through moments in Scrooge's life. While the cynic in me thinks it's absolutely naive that a rich person like Scrooge would do anything at the expense of their wealth, I do think A Christmas Carol has a great message that it is never too late to be a better person. In the Jetsons adaptation, the role of Scrooge is played by George's boss, Mr. Spacely. It hits all the same beats. He is visited by the ghost of his former business partner, and then a series of ghosts who are robots, which is a fun detail. It's interesting seeing the past, but still in the future. Spacely is taken to a teenage date he went on to a fly-in movie theater, a riff on drive-in theaters. The future of the future really isn't that much different from the present of the future. Still, this is a pretty decent adaptation. As a heads up though, it is just a dream sequence, but I know some people are sensitive to animals passing, and that is featured here. Everything does work out though, thankfully. The Christmas Carol segment only really makes up half of the 22-minute runtime. The other half introduces us to Christmas time in Orbit City. The usual Jetsons assets have all been winterized or Christmased. There is snow on the buildings. In terms of innovations, we get some really cool decorations on what's referred to as the laser tree. They float and rotate around the tree. Robotic arms that feed the family meals. A self-cleaning table that does the dishes. A machine that preps recipes as well. We see it make eggnog. Judy has a closet pod that dresses her in a variety of outfits. Tons of drunk robots at George's work with various designs. The gifts that are given include a wireless guitar and nuclear roller skates. Astro was gifted a robot cat he can chase as well. This was made during the Jetsons revival, or their second season during the 1980s, and tonally feels very at home there. We visit a mall where we see a hover cart with presents in it, moving walkways, which are a staple of the show, as is video calling, and yeah, overall, I think a pretty decent festive future. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and check out some of the other episodes in the series. I know that some of the animation we've covered on here is pretty obscure, pretty weird, but there is so much good stuff. If you are looking for more festive futures, we have an episode on Futurama's Xmas, or that video I mentioned that we made last year. Feature film over on Patreon as well. If you have the means, again, please consider becoming a patron. Other videos will be going up on the channel, but that's it for me this year. Thank you all so much for interest over the past 12 months. I'm so grateful that so many people enjoy what I do. So thank you. If you celebrate it, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and all the best for 2023. Thanks, everybody.